Soldiers giving birth on the front line wasn't uncommon. If you could hold a drum, you could fight. And yet we still don't have enough soldiers. Yeeran let out a heavy sigh as she surveyed the war map in front of her. Each valley and hill had been etched into the slab of oak by skilled cartographers. An expensive piece of craftsmanship to have in a bedchamber, but Yeeran's lover had never been called frugal. The moonlight cast a shard of silver over the center of the table where the 4 districts of the elven lands converged on the bleeding field, the front line of battle. She ran her gaze over the 4 quadrants of the map, waxing, crescent, eclipse, and finally her own elven tribe, waning. Her hand curled around the edge of the table, her nails making fine dents in the grain of the wood as she scrutinized the battlefield formations. White tokens tracked the locations of troops under her army's direction. Yeeran's eyes homed in on one regiment that lay in wait by the eastern tower of the garrison. Hers. Yeeri? The nickname was breathed into the silence. Salawa's quiet steps had brought her to Yeeran's side. Come back to bed. Her breath was hot as she brushed her lips against the shaved sides of Yeeran's head, towards the pointed tips of her ears. Yeeran's hand slid up Salawa's back and tangled her fingers in the edges of the woman's braids. They hung heavy against her naked skin, weighed down with beads and gemstones. I can't sleep. Salawa didn't respond for a time. Yeeran liked that about her lover, that each second was considered, every thought knitted together before she spoke. 20 years you have waited to be promoted to colonel. You thought you'd do it before your 35th birthday, yet here you are, the youngest colonel the waning army has ever had. Not until tomorrow. Salawa inhaled sharply. She didn't like to be interrupted. Yeeran's hand slipped up from Salawa's clavicle until it rested against her cheek. It was only then that Salawa softened enough to continue. Sleep will not take this moment away from you. Your new regiment will be there in the morning. Salawa looked to the window where the city of Gurul pulsed as the heartbeat of the waning district. Yeeran followed the direction of her gaze. Chimneys thrust up from domed roofs, puffing smoke into the star-speckled sky. Yeeran knew that the taverns would be teeming with soldiers made merry by spiced rum. For the bakeries, it wasn't late night, it was early morning, and the aroma of their ovens seasoned the light wind. Yeeran watched the tenderness in Salawa's face harden as she looked further towards the bleeding field. Battle fire lit her green irises hazel, and Yeeran felt herself burning from the flame reflected there. I got you something to celebrate your new title, Salawa said quietly. Yeeran's hand dropped from Salawa's cheek. Her lover's gifts were always ostentatious and gaudy. Yeeran didn't wear jewelry or care for fine dresses. Neither helped her in combat. The only thing she did keep on her was a small gold ring sewn into the lining of her uniform. It had no sentimental value for her, but she knew that, should she fall in battle, the ring would be rightfully claimed by the young children who made a living scavenging from the corpses of the army. With that ring, the children would be able to feed themselves for a year. Yeeran had spent many years of her childhood hoping to find such a boon. I think you'll really like this gift, Salawa said as she padded away to retrieve something from under her four-poster bed. Yeeran gave her a tentative smile, and Salawa laughed knowingly as she withdrew a large circular object wrapped in a leather sling.